friend who is always happy often hides a common truth that lies beneath, that they usually tend to be the saddest soul underneath. Because her smile holds sadness, the kind that tells her the efforts are always in vain, and people like to make fun of that smile only to forget themselves when they're in so much pain. And it sucks, but it sucks more for them that they don't get to meet the wonderful dame because they're so rooted in making others feel like shit that they never take a look at themselves for who's to blame. The friend knows no limits, and it's good for turning her mind gears, but it tends to backfire in the way that she thinks it's a bad thing to feel fear. So she stays happy, pretending to not feel fear, but God made crying for a reason, because even wrestlers cry of manly tears, and it was never the demons who responded well to tears. As a man, I'm often pretty fearful myself. So as a woman, I can only imagine, but we as humans have our minds as a sword, and fear to me is like the flame of a fire-breathing dragon. Everybody has it. Out of their mouth comes either fear or courage, but fear and anxiety are the easiest to spit out, and luckily it doesn't take magic to convert it into courage. It does take strength, and that's what your friends are there for as well. To help you out when you find yourself in the well, closer to heaven and further from hell. But really it's the fear itself that's bad, not her. Because the fear tends to whisper in your ear not to even bother, so. And usually that whisper is right behind some of the greatest things in that friend's life. Like when you started writing poems with fear into your future husband and got you so much closer and near. Which is why the devil tries so fucking damn hard to get you not to hear. How the trust issues stay in focus. Because shitty women and men prey on that trust like locust. You might muster up a little courage in front of Satan for a second, then presto, changeo, hocus pocus. So you keep trying. 'Cause he hates that. He already knows that when it's the right time, even if it's not yet, you're still about to win. Which is all the more reason to muster up even more courage. Why? Because it's worth it. And Satan hates it when things are worth it. So he whispers shitty things in people's ears to tell you, to make you feel happy, depressed in his playpen. He pretends there's a version of you that never had anxiety, so he can pull you into a daydream so good that you won't even want to make amends. You say you learned young, but how so if you still weren't able to comprehend? 'Cause young minds are also the most malleable, so Satan tries to kill us before we can fully comprehend. 'Cause only the most hurtful words show no mercy. But what if good words can also be used to mend? And mind you, therapists are never going to talk about Satan, or God, or Jesus. And now maybe you're asking, but why? Because, well, first of all, it's crazy. Because Satan wants to take away your right to defend. Your right to question bad opinions. Your right to trust. Your right to feel happy. Your right to feel content. Your right to feel the fear, so it subsides, so you never realize that Jesus already paid your share of the rent. Satan gives us so many shitty habits that it gets hard to keep hope, to be content. It's a war between good and evil that never ends, which is why praying falls to the wayside, so with the least protection, Satan gets to fuck with the inside of your head. This world likes to call him intrusive thoughts, for lack of a better word, but he's really overstayed his welcome and he's definitely not a friend. Where's my proof, you ask? Here. When you listen to yourself, does it ever feel like you're also attacking yourself? That's because usually you're not even the one attacking yourself. Why? Because yourself is powerful. And he knows it. That's why he tries so damn hard to attack people. That's why he makes sadness your comfortable friend and not Jesus. 'Cause Jesus exists, but Satan totally can't exist, right? Realize just what it is you're saying to yourself, so. It's not your fault that people are horrible. But that's why discernment is your best friend. 'Cause if you're hopeless, you're still hopeless. And hopeless is vulnerable. Hopeless is open for attack. If you always expect someone to hurt you, you also never get to meet the ones that don't want to hurt you. So now half of your best friends, Satan might trick you to lack. If disappointment fills a storage room in your mind, then there's no room for hope that someone will love you back. Because you're right. Maybe not always, and I'm not always either, but the rent for self-love is always due. And you're always going to want to find happiness. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of you. But Satan only hates happiness because Jesus loves it. Externally paid happiness is just called society, because there's still a lot of good in society to be given a use, And we were always meant to be the ones helping to lift up you. So from one sad person to another, in order to support you, I'll say, in order to support you, I'll say, don't ever forget to pray, so. And never forget that the best person to pay that rent has always been none other but you, and all the friends currently right next to you. I love you, so.